Hey everyone, StatsGuru here, and in today's video I want to talk about two types of data that we typically run into in the world of statistics. And the first type of data is what we call discrete data. So there's discrete data, and the other type of data that we typically run into is called continuous data. So we have discrete data and we have continuous data. Let's first look at discrete data. So to describe discrete data, imagine that we are on the basketball court and we're going to take a shot at the basket. So say we shoot a shot. What can happen? Well, one of two things. We can either make the shot or we miss. So we either make the shot or we miss. How does this describe discrete data? Well, there's clear separation. So let's write that down. So discrete data has clear separation. So clear separation of events, meaning that we either make or we miss. There's also some other way that we can think about this. You can ask yourself two questions. Can we count it? So is it countable? And can it be broken down into smaller parts? So is it countable? Can it be broken down? So those are two really good questions to ask yourself when looking at discrete data. So two things happen. There's separate events you either make or miss. And is it countable? Can it be broken down? Some examples of discrete data, of course, if we're looking at counts of things, it could be the number of test questions on a test. So the number of test questions. It could be heads and tails counts if we're flipping a coin. It could also be rolling a dice. So we're going to have the numbers 1 through 6. Another thing to keep in mind when looking at discrete data is there's no decimal points, there's no fractions, everything is clear and separate. So that's the big definition there, is clear separation. So besides discrete data, then we have continuous data. In continuous data, it's harder to separate. So we have decimals, we have fractions, really anything that can go on forever. Some examples of continuous data would be weight, it could be height, it could be length. It could also be time, so measuring time in seconds. And of course time can go on forever, so we could have as many milliseconds as we want to measure. Therefore it would be continuous. So that's kind of the difference between discrete data and continuous data. Discrete data can be separated. Two questions to ask yourself. Is it countable? Can it be broken down? The number of test questions on a test, getting heads or tails, making or missing a shot, rolling a dice, those would be all great examples of discrete data. Continuous data has decimals, fractions, some examples, weight, height, length, and even time would be a good example. So those are some of the differences between discrete data and continuous data. So we have a couple of examples here looking at different types of data, and let's just go ahead and quickly run through if each of these is either discrete or continuous. So the number of home runs, well, is it countable? Yes. Can we break it down? If we're looking at averages, probably, but if we're just looking at the number of home runs, that would be a discrete data value. The weight of a football. So weight can technically continue on forever, so this would be considered continuous data. The height of your plants. The height of our plants, measuring height can be measured in however many decimals on, so that would be continuous. If we're flipping a coin and we're getting heads or tails, these are separate events. So So that would be an example of discrete data. If we are rolling a dice, we can get the numbers 1 through 6. We can't get a 1.2. We can't get a 2.4. So that would be discrete data. How fast you can run a mile, that would be what? That would be continuous data, because time can be measured on a continuous scale until we have a cutoff point. So these are just some quick examples of discrete versus continuous data, and I hope that you found this video helpful in describing the two types of data that we typically run into in the world of statistics. Thank you guys for tuning in today. As always, comment down below any topics or vocabulary that you want to run through. I'd be happy to make a video of that for you. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.